The seventh characteristic of an eagle is that the eagle is a master of the storm. The eagle is a master of the storm. No matter how boisterous the storm is, the eagle will ride over it. In John chapter 16, verse 33, the Bible says, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." That's Jesus speaking there. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13. "There had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way of escape, a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." In Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. Isaiah 59, verse 19. "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up his standard against him." You must understand as a believer that the storms of life come to all of us. There is no one that is exempt. There is no single individual who is exempted from the storms of life. The challenges of life happens to all. Yes, the challenges of life comes to all of us. You are responsible for the outcome of every storm of life that comes your way. You may not determine whether the storms will come or not. You may not be able to determine the size of the storms of life that comes to you. You may not be able to determine the timing and the duration of the storms of life that come to you. But one thing is certain: you are responsible for the outcome of every storm of life that comes your way. Yes, you are responsible on how you react. You are responsible whether you will respond or you will react. Yes, you will decide whether you will die in that storm or you will dive through it. You are the one that will decide whether you will sink in it or you will sail and soar above it. You will decide whether it will run you down or you will ride on top of it. You will decide whether you will shake and shiver or stand strong and step upon it. So you will decide. You are responsible for the outcome. Just like the eagle is responsible for the storm that comes to him. It is responsible to soar above the storm. It is responsible to take advantage of the torrents of the storm in order to make him to soar. So you must approach every storm with an attitude of faith and not fear. You must approach every storm in life with an attitude of faith and not fear. In Mark chapter 4, verse 39. Mark chapter 4, verse 39. "And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that you have no faith?" Jesus rebuked the disciples because a storm arose in the ship and they could not still the storm. They were afraid. Jesus rebuked them. He said, "Why are you afraid? Why don't you develop the attitude of faith and not fear?" Yes, you must approach every storm with faith and not fear. Number two, you must approach every storm with joy and not bitterness or self-pity or depression. Every storm of life will come to try your faith and will want to leave you with depression, wants to leave you with sorrow of heart, with bitterness of heart. But you must decide. You must decide to approach. You must decide to respond to the storms of life with joy. James chapter 1, verse 2. "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations." Number three, you must approach the storms of life with prayer, not with murmuring and complaining. The storms of life will make you think that you are the only one passing through that thing. It will make you think, "Oh, why has God forsaken you?" No, no. Instead of murmuring and complaining, instead of getting anxious and depressed, you must rise up in prayer. James chapter 5, verse 13. "Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray." Let him pray. Don't let him, cry. Don't let him, become bitter. Don't let him become angry to others. Let him pray. Let him pray. Let him pray. When the storms of life come to you, you must approach it with optimism and not pessimism. You must see opportunity in every difficulty. You must see good in every unpalatable, in everything unpleasant that comes your way. In Romans chapter 8, verse 20, it says, "And we know that all things good, all things bad, all things pleasurable, all things unpleasant work together for good to them that love God and to them who are called according to his purpose." Then number five, you must approach every storm with hope and not despair. You must not give up. You must not be despondent. You must not be in despair when the storms of life come to you. Proverbs 23, verse 18, it says, "For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut short." Never lose hope on any subject matter in your life. It is your surest anchor. Hope is your surest anchor in life. Yes, the hope is your surest anchor in life. Never lose hope. No matter how big the situation is, no matter how chronic and protracted the situation is, no matter how tough and severe the circumstances may be, never lose hope, because that is the anchor for your soul. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 19. Hebrews chapter 6, it says, "Which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, both sure and steadfast, in which entereth into that within the veil." The storm is coming over in your life.